What is going on, guys? How are you all doing today? Rangovidsmango12 here, and we've got Spider-Verse issue 4 on screen in front of your faces right now, and we're going to be reviewing it. So, as you can tell by the cover, we've got the Jackal on it, which I don't actually think he makes an appearance in this comic, so yeah. Now, at the end of the previous issue, we saw Peter Parker appear in front of Spider-Gwen. Many of you guys have been theorizing that maybe he's the Peter Parker from Renew Your Vows, because he did have the same red jacket on that Peter did in Renew Your Vows issue 2. So I will talk about that later on in the issue, later on in the review. But before we jump into this issue, I just want to say that I'm doing a digital comic giveaway for this issue, and to enter the giveaway, let me know who your favourite Spider-Man is out of the Spider-Verse like series. Is it Indian Spider-Man? Is it Spider-Gwen? Is it Spider-Man UK? Is it Spider-Man Noir? Is it Anya? Is it Spider-Ham? Let me know in the comments below, and I will choose a winner and announce it in the next issue. So guys, I'm sure you're all eager to get into this, as am I, because we're also getting an appearance from Venom in this issue. So let's get into it. The issue begins exactly where the previous issue ended, with Peter confronting Spider-Gwen in front of Gwen Stacy's grave. And what you've got to remember is the Spider-Man in around here, like what everybody's saying is that Spider-Man is dead. The original Spider-Man is dead. So when Peter does appear in front of Gwen, she's a little bit concerned and a little bit overwhelmed to see him. However, this Peter has a presence of him knowing what's going on. It seems like he knows a little bit more about what's going on around everything, like to do with Battleworld, maybe what Secret Wars is becoming, maybe about Doom and how he's become all of this. And he just kind of has a sense of, not relaxation, but kind of like, if you stick with him, then you're going to survive. We also discover that Peter doesn't have his powers anymore because he lost them, and he says that it's a really long story. Now, what's really interesting about that is, in the recent Renew Your Vows comic, Peter did actually, or was about to lose his powers when he got put into that tube with Regent. So that's also given us a hint that maybe this Peter Parker is the Peter Parker from The Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows. Also, he does mention that he's married to Mary Jane. He mentions that he's got a daughter. He mentions that he's got a family now. So that also points to it being the Renew Your Vows Peter Parker. So what could be going on here? Who knows? But as you can see back there, Venom got hold of Peter Parker, and everything's going to kick off right there. But now we go back over to the Spider-Man, back with Norman Osborn, and basically, Spider-Ham is just talking about there is a buffet upstairs and all this crazy stuff. Anya doesn't feel like she fits in anywhere, but she's also not very good with this type of stuff that everyone's talking about. She's kind of just sitting back while the rest of the Spider-Man try and figure this out. So Spider-Ham and Anya go up to this buffet whilst everyone else is working out the implications of all these like random spiderweb things. And whilst they're at this buffet, it actually looks pretty nice. It's kind of making me hungry whilst I'm seeing this. But Spider-Ham actually mentions something called Caesar's Palace. Is that Caesar's? I'm just going to assume that I'm pronouncing it right, but either way, he mentions this, and it kind of puts Anya on edge, and it's really strange that Norman Osborn will be doing stuff like this. And Spider-Ham just thinks that humans are weird, so he didn't really think anything of it when he saw Norman Osborn doing this. But then we go back to Spider-Gwen battling with Venom, trying to save the life of the now powerless Peter Parker, who we think is the Peter Parker from Renew Your Vows. As you can see, Gwen is implementing some of the moves that she's learned over the years as being Spider-Gwen, or at least some of the moves that she's learned and somehow remembers but doesn't know how she knows those things. And I honestly have to say that I really like the art style on Venom's symbiote, because usually it's like all over the place. It's very symbiote, it's very snaky, if you get what I mean, very drippy and liquidy, whereas in this comic it looks really plain and flat and kind of more like a matte black compared to the Venom that I'm used to seeing in the Ultimate Spider-Man series, and of course in the 616 comics. So I think that's awesome, just how the art style fits in with this Venom symbiote fight. Now, what I really like about this is Gwen actually uses a piece of her character, something that she's learned, like a characteristic, to take down a major villain such as Venom. Like, she doesn't do it like the same other way as what other superheroes do it. She actually implements something from her own character traits, such as being a drummer or being a guitarist, being in a band. And she uses that to her advantage by hooking a guitar up to an amplifier and taking down the symbiote and allowing it to leave the Eddie Brock character in order for Peter to run up and give a whopping punch to the face of Eddie Brock. And of course he thinks he's broke his hand because he don't have superpowers anymore, so he can't endure that type of force on his fists anymore. This comic tends to take a little bit of a twist for the worst, with Norman Osborn actually being revealed to be a bad guy this entire time. And I know what you guys are thinking. It's Norman Osborn, Rango. Of course he's a bad guy. I was honestly convinced that he was a good guy throughout this entire series, and for him to just go back to his original roots of being a bad guy, like, come on. I was really liking Norman Osborn as a good guy, but it shows again that there's a different dimension to his character that he's kept hidden this entire time. And he walks out of the room and we get to see him teaming up with the Sinister Six, or at least talking to them anyway. And he says in this awesome way, "I'll take my glider for this." Because the only thing that can lure Norman Osborn out to reveal himself as an evil villain is Peter Parker being still alive. Of course, we just saw him reveal it to Norman Osborn right there. But as we're coming towards the end of the issue, we get to see the rest of the Spider-Men investigate this Caesar's Palace, this chair that Spider-Ham has been seeing Norman Osborn sat in. And again, Norman Osborn has been blabbing on about taking down Doctor Doom. And I don't know about you guys, but it kind of feels like maybe all the villains, like we've got Region, we've got Norman Osborn wanting to take down Doctor Doom, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Spider-Queen from the Spider Island series wouldn't want to take down Doctor Doom as well. Now, as the Spider-Men are trying to figure out what to do with it, as they're discussing it, a member of the Thors, who is the police force for Doctor Doom's army, actually appears in front of them. And of course, I can probably think of a few reasons why he's there, and maybe he thinks the Spider-Men have actually created this machine. Maybe he's there to help them actually destroy Norman Osborn. Maybe he's going to figure it all out. But either way, does that mean that Doctor Doom is onto these guys? Well, we'll have to wait until the next issue. But guys, what did you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget about the giveaway. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. I thought it had some awesome character development over Spider-Gwen's character, with her actually using a character trait to take down Venom. But also we got kind of this really quick fight from Venom. It was really nice to get that little cameo of Venom in there. But also we got that very, very huge character development from Peter Parker's perspective. And we got a little bit of insight onto maybe it is the Peter Parker from Renew Your Vows. But who knows, we'll probably figure that out later in the series. But until then, guys, hit the like button on this video, hit the subscribe button, go to the links in the description, follow me on Twitter and Facebook to get all the latest comic book updates, and of course to hear when these videos are being edited, when they're being uploaded, etc. And of course, if you want to know what I'm doing in my free time when I'm not editing these videos, then go to the links in the description, follow me on Instagram, and I will see you all in my next video.